Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al, DraftKings Week 5. I've got 5 under 5. A lot of 5s this week that we're going to look at for NFL DFS lineups that you're going to build in tournaments. The key to winning tournaments is to have some players that are low percentage plays. Now, some of those plays are going to be a little bit stinky to you because either they're in bad matchups, their price point looks really weird, or maybe just sometimes people aren't talking about them. A lot of the time we can find players that have a really respectable ceiling. Sometimes they have a good floor. Sometimes they're 5-box running backs, a video that we do every Tuesday that helps us try to identify better players in really good situations where they could score more fantasy points over their expected fantasy points on the week based on all these different telling options. That might be foreshadowing because maybe there's one of them in this video. Let's find out. Let's go.
He's a legend.
The Week 5 Smiz Gang Listener League is already above 4,000 entrants. There are 5,500 seats available in total in this tournament. This video is going to come out on Saturday morning, okay? Early Saturday morning, like 4 a.m. my time, Saturday morning. There will probably still be room in this on Saturday morning, but there will not be room in this by Sunday morning with the way that you guys are trying to get in. So if you're watching this video with your coffee before college football kicks off, be sure that you get yourself a seat. $10 to enter, 3 max entries in this tournament, and it's the best tournament that exists on DraftKings. You have to get in here because there's no rake. $55,000, 10% of that goes to first. All of it gets paid out to all the entries that are in the tournament because no rake is the best way to play this game. You don't have to pay any service fee. Make sure to get in there through smizzle.tv/links. That link is down below in the description and it is down below in the pinned comment. That is my link tree. It has links to everything that I do. Be sure that you find it. And let's get to all of the other players that are on the list. Starting with, as I teased in the open, a 5-box running back from the Tuesday video, the top running backs on the week, James Robinson. Shockingly, projected at under 5% this weekend. Now, as the kids like to say, his percentage might get steamed up by the time the weekend gets here because it's absurd that he's even projected under 5%. I think that Establish the Run has him as the 15th highest played running back on the week, and Fantasy Labs had him as like the 28th highest played running back on the week. There is absolutely no chance that this stays where it is. If there was like an over-under and I could bet that he was going to be one of the top 14, I would bet yes, he should be. If he is under 5%, this is a massive win for all of us who are going to jump on this James Robinson. But because of how good a spot this is for Jacksonville, Houston is allowing the most yards before first contact to running backs in the league. They have gotten shredded. We're going to be streaming running backs against them all season long. This is basically the team that you want to play your running backs against. And we know that you want to play running backs that are favored. We also know that you want to play running backs that are playing at home. Ones that project to get 20 opportunities, like we've seen from James Robinson a couple of times already this year. The game against Philly, I'm throwing completely out. They are too tough of a defense for us to get any realistic gauge of what they should do, especially when you have the exact other end of the spectrum in the Houston Texans running back specifically, or defense specifically against opposing running backs. He's 6,300. It's not even like he's priced up to some ridiculous amount. No, on FanDuel, I believe that James Robinson is 8K this week. You actually have decisions to make at 8K on FanDuel. At 6,300 on DraftKings, this is like the easiest click for tournaments. If he is actually going to stay under 10%, I still love it. At under 5%, it's absurd, and you should be clicking him if you are building multiple lineups or in single entry or 3 max. James Robinson, potential smash play this week, and I don't know why all the places that I've looked at are not projecting him at like 12 to 15 where he should be. So I get a gift in the sense that I get to include him in this video because not all the players in this video are star-studded or in great matchups. That's just the way it falls out. Najee Harris is not in a great spot considering that he's playing against Buffalo and we don't like playing underdog running backs. I'd rather play favored running backs. However, we retired Nick Chubb last week. He is in the Ring of Honor. You can't see it, but it's like up there around the studio. There is a Ring of Honor for this video. He's in it. I am not allowed to use him in this video. He is also projecting under 5% again this week. I think he's projecting at like 2%. Nick Chubb, he runs for like 100 yards every week, has like a touchdown opportunity every single week. So like he's in play again. It is what it is. But I'm going to go with Harris for a couple of reasons. Now, look, I know he has not seen the volume that he saw last year. I know that this Pittsburgh offense is one that I have not been buying into this year. And I'm still kind of not buying into them on the whole. I do think that the change in quarterbacks is a positive one, because if nothing else, Kenny Pickett will make decisions and go with them, as rookies tend to do. It doesn't mean that he's going to have heightened efficiency. I think he'll be more efficient than Mitch Trubisky was, and I think that they're going to try to make this offense as easily digestible for a quarterback like him to exist in. And part of that means that Harris should see more targets in the passing game than he has seen this year. I'm expecting more usage along the lines of what he saw in week 2, where he got 6 targets and 15 carries, as opposed to 18 carries and no targets in week 4. They're going to have to develop and scheme to get easy completions for their rookie quarterback. And that means lower ADOT throws. That means more screen passes. That means little dump offs, as well as allowing him to take shots downfield when appropriate. But all of those things add up to more targets heading towards Harris. And he is projected right now at 1.8%, partially because running backs on the road in blowout situations don't tend to perform very well against their projection historically. However, game flow independent running backs like Harris, who are as good in the passing game as they are, we could see him get like 12 carries, 13 carries this week, but get maybe 6 to 10 targets. And that would be more than enough to pay off this tag, especially considering that he's going to be the opposite of whatever chalk is. If you've not already taken part in our No Kid Hungry fundraiser, or even if you have, consider going to smizzle.tv/charity and donating through Tiltify. Every single donation is 100% tax deductible. If you have enjoyed the content, if you've been a channel member for a long time, if you have won money this season, or you just wanted to say thank you and give back, go to our charity at smizzle.tv/charity. We are raising money for No Kid Hungry, hoping to raise $50,000 from the community, and every single dollar helps us reach that goal. When we get to $30,000 down below, that will trigger another $10,000 match from me. And together we can raise $100,000 for No Kid Hungry, trying to provide school breakfast, lunches, and at-home care for food insecure kids across America, something that we should not be struggling with as like the richest country in the world. We should be able to do something about this at the government level. They're pulling funding for those sorts of things, so we have to take care of our own. So be a part of something bigger than yourself and donate whatever you can, $1, $5, $20, $100 to No Kid Hungry today, and help us get to that next deposit match at 30K as a community. DeVonta Smith projecting at 2.2% in a game against Arizona. A lot of people are kind of moving towards AJ Brown. I think he's a little over 10% this week, but nobody is playing DeVonta Smith. We've already seen what his ceiling is, and I don't care what his floor is, right? We've seen his absolute floor being week 1 against Detroit. Shocking that in that game he had no catches against Detroit, but like against Jacksonville, also 4. But then we saw 7 catches on 7 balls against Minnesota, 8 catches on 12 balls, including a touchdown, many of them of the highlight reel variety. I don't care about the variation. I don't care that he might have a 6-point floor. I care that he's got a 30-point ceiling. That is all that matters when you're playing in tournaments. You need to take swings. You need to take shots. I used to play poker like a lot. I would travel around, play WPTs, World Series of Poker, play online like 2 sessions of 4 hours every single day. There's a saying in poker that if you do not get caught, if you never get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, you're just not playing good poker. I am willing to get my hand caught in the cookie jar, chasing DeVonta Smith big games in specific situations like this one against Arizona's defense that has been very forgiving against the pass. And I really like that Philadelphia offense, as you guys can tell every single week. I'm trying to get shares. And this week, whether I'm using Smith as a part of a secondary stack or using him with my Jalen Hurts stacks, he is a great way to lower the full ownership or the product ownership of your tournament lineups. Next is Amari Cooper. Now, we could be really lazy with this and just say, look, Amari Cooper is playing at home. And if you look at his home games, he's averaged 27.1 fantasy points per game and 3.3 fantasy points per game in 2022. In road games, he projects at 1.56% this week, and he's playing at home, so smash! I mean, I could be that lazy. I'm not. I'm going to go with, this is not a bad offense, shockingly, right? Like, I thought that this Browns offense, in the absence of their quarterback who's coming back in week 11, that this, when Deshaun gets back, I was like, okay, we could buy then, but like, it's not great for your season long leagues. But like, I'm not really high on Jacoby Brissett, but he's been extremely efficient so far. There's not that many players that he can actually target with any sort of volume. And Amari Cooper has seen 2 games where he's gotten double-digit targets. This is a game with a pretty high team total for the Browns, right? Like, the Browns are not a team that typically has really high team totals, just not who they are. But like 48.5 for this one, where they're playing as underdogs at home. If the Chargers can get out to any sort of lead and the Browns can't ground and pound this game, the offense is going to flow through Amari Cooper in the air against a very, very, very injured Chargers team, like seemingly every year. It's evergreen content to say that the Chargers team is injured. Shocking when your doctor's name is Stabby Lung that you're going to have a lot of injuries, but this is the world that we live in. And so Amari Cooper under 5% seems like a great play with a lot of easy bringbacks on the other side for use as part of a low played secondary stack. The last player on this video, I did not want to use 2 Steelers in this video, but again, this is just where we're at. Diontae Johnson coming off of a week where he only saw 4 targets. That's absurdly low. That's not something that's going to stick, right? He is going to bounce back in terms of targets a lot along the lines of the way that I explained why I think Najee Harris is a good play at his price point. Diontae Johnson is absolutely always open. Diontae Johnson always puts himself in a position for a quarterback to want to target him and runs lower A-dot routes, which are more friendly to a rookie quarterback. If you're still watching the video, take a second, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. It all really helps the channel. Leave me somebody down below that you think is going to be under 5% in the replies that you are excited to play this weekend. But get back to Diontae Johnson. He fits that safety blanket sort of thing. I know that people use the safety blanket in terms of, well, you know, rookie quarterback's going to throw the ball to tight ends, but like data shows that that's not really the case. Like it's a false narrative. They're going to throw it to whoever's open. And they're going to throw it to whoever's open closer to the line of scrimmage. And tight ends don't do as good a job as a player like Diontae Johnson at gaining and separation in terms of earning targets. An easy bounce back candidate to at least double this target number in week 5 from where it was in week 4, and he's projecting at like 2.3% at this point, entirely too low for everything that he brings to the table in terms of volume and what he would need to pay this off. Whether you're using him as a part of a bring back stack, I'm not going to double stack the Steelers, but if you're using him as a part of a bring back stack or a secondary stack with Bills players, I'm totally fine with either Johnson or Harris in this spot. Both are too low and will lower the product ownership of your total lineup to help you stay under that 130% total target that we're looking to achieve, to give ourselves the best chance at finishing on the top of the tournament sheet. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.